What is Stacey's mistake? I was going to say it's wearing those pants with those shoes, but Stacey only dresses like that on the cover. In the actual book, she wears more fashionable things, like a raspberry beret, the kind you find in a second-hand store.
Argo Funk Book Review, Argo Funk Book Review.
Stacey is living in New York City again. Everyone in her apartment building wants to attend a fundraiser for the local community theater. The problem is that there are 10 kids who need babysitting. Stacey can't watch all those kids by herself, but you know who can? The Babysitters Club. Stacey gets permission to have her 6 friends come to New York for the weekend. She picks them up from the train station. They all hug, and it takes less than a page for things to go wrong. Stacey yells at Marianne for using a map. "You look like a tourist, Marianne." Stacey is annoyed to learn her friends used the wrong exit. Why didn't they know how to get around the giant train station that they've never been to before? Tourists. Dawn is scared of everything in New York, especially the elevators and rats. Kristy doesn't help, she keeps teasing Dawn about it. Claudia has a suitcase which is so large they have to waste a bunch of time dropping it off at Stacey's place. Stacey wonders if inviting her friends here was a mistake. The title of the book tells me it was. You know Stacey is in for a bad time when her mistake is expecting her friends to be anything other than awful. Stacey takes her friends to Union Square, where Jessie and Kristy embarrass her by dancing in public. The others embarrass her by getting tourist shirts. Stacey impresses them by showing off a food truck. That's an amazing New York City exclusive. It doesn't exist in Connecticut. The group goes shopping. The babysitters continue to humiliate Stacey. Dawn is clumsy. Kristy makes fun of the prices, and Marianne accidentally rips a sweater. They return to Stacey's apartment to meet all the kids and prepare for a party. Stacey's friend Laine comes by. Claudia instantly picks a fight with Laine over who is Stacey's real best friend. The party goes badly. Marianne spouts endless New York trivia, which weirds everyone out, so she switches to telling mean stories about Dawn. Kristy has fun dancing with a boy named Kobe until Claudia steps in and steals him. So basically, everyone is being a huge jerk, except for Jessie and Mallory. They are hiding in the corner by themselves because they're a little afraid of 8th graders. When the party's over, Laine and the babysitters explode into a big fight. Stacey's understandably upset. She forces everyone to swear a truce that they will be nice for the rest of the weekend. On the next page, Dawn asks about the alarm system. Stacey lies to get Dawn to shut up. Well, Stacey's truce did not last very long, did it? Everyone seems to be doing better the next day. The babysitting job starts with separating the kids into groups. Dawn gets 3 kids, Claudia gets 2, and everyone else gets 1 kid each. That is definitely some unfair grouping. They take the kids to the American Museum of Natural History. They lose one of the kids, but quickly find him by splitting up to search everywhere. Next, they take the kids to the park. They have fun seeing strange people and riding the merry-go-round. The kids are so happy, they sing a song for the Babysitters Club. When everyone returns home, they're glad to hear the theater fundraiser was a big success. After 3 full chapters of New York tourist stuff, the girls decide to celebrate by, what else, doing more New York tourist stuff. They dress up fancy and see a Broadway play. Stacey's glad to see Laine and Claudia are finally getting along. The girls tell Stacey what happened in the last 2 books, and they apologize for their bad behavior. They say goodbye to the kids and go back home. The end. Post-book follow-up. I really liked the artwork in this graphic novel. The artist has her own style, which works well. She's not merely mimicking the artwork of the previous books. I hope the artist returns to the series, and I really hope she's given a better book to adapt. I remember really hating the original book because everyone acts like a jerk, including Stacey. Stacey is better in this graphic novel version because it greatly reduces her bragging about New York and her constant complaints about how much she hates her friends. Sadly, there was no attempt to improve the babysitters. They are still rude and embarrassing the whole time. I especially dislike how Dawn acts nothing like her usual self. She's normally the bravest club member, the one who loves ghost stories. Continuity? Similarly, Marianne would not tell embarrassing stories about Dawn, and Claudia wouldn't interrupt Kristy's first kiss. Since nobody acts like themselves, the fight feels extra forced. I didn't like the second half of the book, which is mostly New York tourism. The kids aren't interesting, and they do so little that I can't tell them apart. Outside of Henry disappearing for 2 pages, it was a boring babysitting job, stretched out for way too long. The kids and sitters didn't do anything besides wander around and be impressed by New York. The big sitting job could have been a highlight of the book, like in Kristy's big day, but clearly it was just an excuse to have the club members visit Stacey for the weekend. Overall, I'd say this is like graphic novel 11, a good adaptation of a bad book, which doesn't do enough to improve the story to make me like it. It's still a book with lots of filler, everyone acting out of character, and too much reliance on the New York setting to impress readers. Like, oh wow, they ate fish bagels just like real New Yorkers! I sure am glad they spent 4 pages on New York bagels. That definitely needed to be twice as long as the missing child story. I give Babysitters Club graphic novel number 14, Stacey's Mistake, a 3 out of 10.